Let's see where we're at. If you guys keep watching us popping in and out live on YouTube, bear with us here. We're having some actual YouTube connectivity issues, so just be patient. We will be right with you shortly. There we go. We appear to be in the right spot. We're in the right place, the right time. Love it. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of button pushing here for 1 second because that's just how life is sometimes. But hey, my name is Mitch Camage. I am the host of A Syndicate Talks, and this is season 4. Episode 1, and this is my brother from another mother, Scott Jerace from EcoLeaf, joining us today to talk about the things that we always talk about all the time on A Syndicate Talks. 1, to bring education, insight, and information to people based on experts in their field, their industry, etc. And 2, to make you a little smarter at running business. So bear with me for about another 15 seconds here. And we will do that. And we will do that. And we, of course, as always, will save because we want it nice and safe on YouTube for this. I will click save and I will be done the button pushing. And now that we are there, fantastic. We can actually turn our attention fully to you guys that deserve the time and the energy and what you're used to as we bring it forward. So my name is Mitch Camage. This is A Syndicate Talks. Season 4. We just finished season 3 not that long ago. It is February 11th of 2022, and episode 1 of this new season is going to be coming in hot. Now, Syndicate Talks started at the beginning of the global pandemic to serve one primary purpose: to take business education, which was tough to find, and give it to people for free. We got this lovely little community, this lovely little business, this tribe of business owners. It's like a mastermind. It's networking. It's all those great resources that you think or want that you could need in this life to make business better. And we started to take the really smart people and give them a showcase. But more importantly, let them talk about what they're experts at, because they can teach you how to do something in business. So today is my brother, Scott Jerace, EcoLeaf. We're going to talk to him a little bit about his stuff, but fill you in on what's going on in the world. The world's changed and shifted an awful lot, and it's up to you, but more importantly, up to us to make sure you've got access to information. Why? At no other time in the world, thanks to this thing, has it been easier to get information, and yet we find it tougher and tougher to learn how to do and learn and know and fix and grow with new things. So we're going to help you get a little smarter because of it. Scott, why don't you fill everybody out there in La La Land and YouTube land right now? It's a little tiny bit about yourself, and then let's start talking about EcoLeaf and the cool stuff that you're doing.
Right on. Well, thanks for having me here. I don't think I've been on one of these since season 1, so I'm really grateful to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about myself and my business, and I'll just get going. Frankly, EcoLeaf is a byproduct of seeing a need. We see a need that the world is a changing place. In the last couple of years with the different things that have happened, because there's been so many. I don't think we can really pinpoint one specific thing. Like COVID was a big thing, but there's other things that happen too, and you see the world changing, and the appetite for innovation is coming. And I don't know if anybody else got one of these the other day, but this is my power bill, by the way. Mine doubled from last month, so I'm thinking that everybody else is kind of in the same boat, and it's time to stop paying these ridiculous fees that we get laid upon us by the power company, and start taking a little bit of control for ourselves. It's nice when you don't have to pay extra bill every month, and knowing that my power bill was $491 last month, it's would be really nice. And I think in the spring here, I'm going to take my own poison and get some solar on my house, because I'm just sick of seeing this fluctuation and having no other real options out there. You could switch, utility providers, but really they're all bound by the same, they're not regulated provincially, but they're regulated federally. So the federal government is still the one who's mandating the cost of power across our country. And I'm not sure if people know that, but it's about taking a little bit of ownership for yourself, generating your own power. And then 2, we've recently had a lot of issues with brownouts in the city and in other surrounding areas, and ensuring that doesn't happen to you, because you have the ability to generate your own power. People get battery backup systems in their homes too, if they're really concerned about power and power consumption within their home. Some people, have been working from home for the last 2 years. They have their computers in there, they have stuff on the go. And, the worst thing that could happen is a blackout, and then your computer shuts off and all the work you did that day, is gone, right? Not only now you have a big power bill and they couldn't fulfill their end of the deal, but you lost all the work that you've been working on for that day because your computer didn't save, right? So that's kind of where we're at. The earth itself is in a place where carbon buildup is causing greenhouse effect, and that's increasing the temperature of our planet, which in turn is melting the polar ice caps. And I think at this point it's kind of a scientific fact that it's accelerated. Not that it would never happen, but the it's accelerating by our carbon consumption. So I don't believe that it's the type of thing we can just stop tomorrow. I think you'd be foolish, if that was the case. If you thought we could just quit, fossil fuels tomorrow, I think that's ridiculous. Do I want to see change? Absolutely, but I really believe in being the steward of change. I believe that in this industry, since I started, I've been finding out that people are either on one side of the fence or the other. There's not a lot of room in the middle, and I'm a normal guy, I think, and I live in the middle with a lot of stuff, and I look at it and go, well, I understand my car needs gas, but on the other hand, I understand that EV vehicles are just coming out. I understand that I need power for my home, but I also understand we've been used to this grid system we've used for about a century, and it's hard to change. It's hard to believe that, but truly, if something's going to happen here, we need to be the stewards of change. Average people need to be the steward of change. And on top of that, save a little money for yourself. That's really what I'm catching here. Is it's a great way to save some money for your home and your family, and put that in other places, especially since I'm sure everybody's been to the grocery store lately. Everybody's witnessing this inflation happening because of various reasons. People have been to the lumber stores, and it's about to become springtime here, and people are going to start working in their backyards, and they're going to notice all the price of materials at Home Depot over the summer went up in price because inflation and that factor. Well, now with solar and what we have, we can start making those savings today with what this is. The average solar home uses about 7,000 kilowatts a year. Really, at the end of the day, that system is worth about $15,000 to install. You will probably be paying a monthly payment for the installation of about $150, and any overages that you make, you can put back into the grid, and then all of a sudden the power company starts paying you for generating power. And I think that's so empowering for a homeowner these days, when you have the ability to and you're never going to make millions of dollars off your house, but being able to generate power, and Alberta being such a sunny place, we generate so much sunlight here that we're the second largest generator of sun in the world. And in the summertime, we have, good 16 hours worth of sunlight, and that your solar, array is soaking that all up every day. And you're using only so much power. That power goes back into the grid. There's a meter connected at your house that is the transition between your home and the general grid, and everything that goes over goes into the actual grid, and you get paid for that. So we may not get the most sun in the summer or in the wintertime, but we still get quite a bit during the day. And that buildup of credits that you can accumulate in the summertime can go to offset your power in the wintertime. Actually, it'll probably do a lot more than that, because my partner, he set up one on his parents' house, and they generate enough power to never pay power. They also generate enough power that it covers their gas bill every month, and maybe they get like $40 to $50 of credits in the summertime, and that offsets even more savings down the road. So as a regular citizen, regular Joe, it's an opportunity now to move on it, and to give yourself some sustainable energy. And of course, there's so many other factors involved in it too, like EV vehicles and supply and demand. down the road, right? So, that in itself, it should be a decision maker for people too. We are in a situation right now where the government is offering massive subsidies for this. They want to see people get solar on their homes. They want to see people using renewable energies. Depending on what county or city you're in, there's different grants that are available for solar or even wind generation, geothermal, and things like that. But there's also provincial grants and federal grants. So every government at this moment, even though they can't get it together in any other retrospect, they seem to have the idea that if they encourage people to do this, it will help move it forward quicker. And I think that system that I kind of quoted earlier, the 7,000 kilowatt system, it works out to being about $15,400 for the system overall. But after we apply all the rebates, we're looking at about between $7,000 and $9,000, depending on the county or city you're in. Because of course, like I said, that changes, right? So really, at the end of the day, you're getting this thing for about half price. And when you look at it, I had a conversation with somebody last night. My monthly payment for my hot tub will probably be more than my monthly payment for my solar array that I put on my house. The hot tub's not getting me a lot outside of some relaxation, but the solar array will put power on my home. It'll do so much for me. And it's that thing that that trap we get caught in as people in North America. We want the fancy this and that, and I got the hot tub, and then looking at it going like, that could have been a solar array when I bought that 5 years ago, and I'd be in a better spot now. And the monthly payments probably equal to or pretty equal to what that solar array would cost. So when we're prioritizing things now, what's important? Are you looking into saving a car payment every month? Because I think that's about the difference that it would offset. Looking at my power bill, it's about $500, and my hot tub payment's about $150. So it's 300 or so dollars that I actually would have been saving if I bought a solar array instead, right? So
you just digested it and put out a ton of information for people to digest. That's fantastic. Oh, yeah. So let me back up for a second.
Yeah.
What started EcoLeaf? I'm hearing your passion here right now, and you're sharing it with everybody. And you read and you touched on so many different subjects that we can go down into right now. But what started this? What got you started in this? And what does it mean for EcoLeaf moving forward? What is the best thing about EcoLeaf? What does it give to people?
Yeah.
What are you helping people with?
Yeah, honestly, we could have turned this into a 4-hour podcast. I could talk about this so much, but the reasoning behind EcoLeaf, essentially, I'm also part owner in Legacy Renewable Energies, and we needed a strategy for sales. We entertained several different ideas, like bringing in paid salespeople. We looked at door-to-door people that would go door-to-door knocking, and after that, it really became clear that we needed a better sales model for what this is. We're never going to be able to get this product to the people quick enough if we use those conventional sales models. So EcoLeaf itself started and it's an MLM sales strategy. The corporation, of course, none of the owners of the corporation are involved in any of the downlines, because we want to be fair to people, and we want them to believe that they're the ones making money for themselves. So EcoLeaf was started with an MLM strategy to allow everyday people to be able to be involved in the green movement, basically. I know that it's easier for me to go and talk to my mom, my aunt, my cousin, my brothers, my friends, my family, and talk to them about what this is. Because really, regardless how you feel about the whole, battle going on between the fossil fuel energy sector and the renewable energy sector, it doesn't matter, because all of us as humans at the end of the day are looking to save some money so we can help our families do other things, go on vacations and enjoy life together. So in saying that, the idea of being able to spread out like a net and talk to people in that way, and then know that it's actually grown quite quickly because of this model, where we started out 2 months ago and it was just the small core group of people that were involved. And through progression of 2 months, now there's, a pretty good stack of people that are involved. They, it's, I'm really proud of it to watch it grow and to see the people connect to it and say, this is a good idea. And I may be able to put a little bit more money in my pocket too. I'm gonna go take this product and I signed up for this and I got it on my home, and I'm gonna take this product to one of my family members and I'm gonna explain to them the savings that they can make, and I'm going to explain to them the impact on the environment that they're going to have, and I'm going to explain to them the benefits of what this is, the government grants and all these things. And then I know that person, after that gets taken care of, they're really proud about what they're doing every day. Hopefully that person that they interacted with picks up the idea and moves to the next person that they know, and they talk to them, and they make a little bit of money off that. And not only do they make some money, but the person putting the solar onto their home, they actually get commission off of putting solar on their home with our program. So not only are you paying about half price for this array now from all the grants, you're actually going to put even more cash in your pocket, because we've set it up to benefit people and to encourage them even more to do this and to talk to their friends and family about it. Because at the end of the day, if you've put on a $15,000 solar array on your house, but you only paid maybe $6,000 for it, it's a pretty good deal. And then of course, it increases the value of your home by about $30,000. So you've gained so much equity. You've saved money every month for the next however long it takes to pay off your array. And then after that, it's completely free. For the life on panels is about 25 to 30 years. Panels themselves now are mandated to be completely recyclable. There's things that there's just stigmas within this industry that I think that have been stated, but they were stated like 15 years ago or 10 years ago, and the technology has changed so much. And educating your friends and your family members about that, it really, I've noticed it helps people change their mind and make better decisions too, where the first question I get out is, well, those things have a huge carbon imprint and they're not recyclable, and there's no way I should put that on my house because that thing is going to, not offset any of this carbon imprint that I've created. That couldn't be further from the truth. The panel itself is completely recyclable now, so there virtually is almost no carbon imprint for this. Of course, there's the wire that's installed, which is not a whole lot of wire. There's going to be carbon imprint for the mining of the wire, but it's minimal now compared to what it used to be. And I think that's where people need to change their thinking. But it's a great system. Just the whole principle of it is to be able to connect with people and to talk with them at a human level. People don't like the car salesman who comes in and is pressuring them into buying this array, and it comes with Corinthian leather, and that's not what people are looking for. People are looking to save money, and they're looking to enrich their lives, and they're looking to be able to do better things and to feel good about the choices that they make. So that really is how we got started with it. And it's just the principle of empowering everyday people to become that connection point to make sure the next person gets it, and the next person and the next person, and every day it grows and gets bigger and spreads. And my personal goal is to put solar on every house on the planet. And I believe this is the only strategy that would have worked.
What does the impact of this look like in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years? Like, what are you really working towards? Because solar's one thing, and people hear the words MLM is the other, network marketing, other things like that. Great. You don't have to. Do people have to join the cult, or could people just come to EcoLeaf to help them get into it? Because once again, the jump in power bills means that everybody should start looking at solar. Or something, right? It should be something else. Well, get a pedal bike outside your house and start riding. Do something.
Put your kids on it, hook a wire up to it, an alternator, and let them go. Burn some energy. I wish. 2 to 3 years, it's an interesting thing because it's a evolving market. The industry. But I think I've been involved with Legacy now for about 10 months, and EcoLeaf's been around for about 5. And I've watched the industry change in that time period. I've watched some things change. I've watched grants get reallocated or moved around, depending on what happens with our government in the next period here. They could change their mind on stuff. That I think is the one thing that really could stifle the industry. Where I believe it was about 4 years ago or 6 years ago, they changed all the provincial grants, and I knew some people in the industry, and they kind of threw their hands up in the air and walked away from it. But watching it, because I've always been interested in it, they just changed the grants. They moved them around, they found different places to get money, and they changed them. And I think that people just kind of took it as like, oh, well, this is going to be gone forever. Depending on the government and municipally, provincially, federally, that's going to definitely affect, how this is perceived. In my opinion, though, it seems like whether you're a liberal or a Tory, NDP, green energy, everyone's kind of on the same page with this now, though, where we're starting to see it. I think that, especially, say myself, and I'll say this because I get flack from it in the community. I'm a conservative that believes in environmental movement. I'm not so big headed to go, well, maybe there's another option, or maybe there's a way that, this can benefit it. To me, it seems like a lot of industry change happens economically. So economically, as a person that's, entrepreneurially minded, I look at the ways to make it connect. There's a lot of people on both sides screaming at each other, but no one ever meets in the middle. And I think that us making this connect for everybody, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of your political stances, your anything that would make us different, and it's finding a way to meet in the middle. And then, that I think could cause a change, though, too, where we live in a supply and demand economy. All right, we live in a supply demand economy, and the more people that start signing up for this, because, frankly, right now, there will never be a better time to do this today. Prices of cobalt are still reasonably low. Manufacturers still have stock. We don't really have a huge supply chain issue in regards of panels at the moment. Price of power just skyrocketed for the first time, this year. And it just really comes down to supply and demand. If people start doing this and everybody moves on it, of course the economy is going to adjust to what it is. The people that do the mining for the cobalt are going to go, oh yeah, the suppliers are asking us for a lot of cobalt nowadays. I think that, this is a finite mineral and we should increase the price because the demand is higher. And then that reflects step by step throughout the entire industry until it gets to us. And really, at that juncture, we're going to have to be forced to increase some pricing on what this is, because we won't be able to afford to feed our families or continue doing what we're doing if we don't. And for me, this is a concern I have. I'm worried about when that happens, because people are going to say, well, this was affordable, but now it's not. But today it is. And I'm trying not to live in the what if and what could happen in the future. I'm trying to live in the today. And today is affordable for pretty much everybody. We were joking about it, but my hot tub payment, going back to that's so low. My car payment is 5 times my freaking hot tub payment, and I would justify driving my car every day to work.
Yeah,
that's why I buy it. And I don't even drive to work anymore. I have my office in my home, but when I got it, it was like, this is going to put money in my bank account every week when I get paid, and that's how I justify buying this. Solar is kind of the same. You know what? You watch the hockey game when it's on. You like having heat in your home and cooking food on your stove, and you like having lights when it's dark. How could you justify not getting this at this point, knowing that every single month your payments will be lower than your electrical bill? Every month from now on, our electrical bills are not going down. There's with the world and the the way that it is right now, there's things going on in Europe that are dictating the price of power here. We can't change that unless we take it within our own hands. And that's going back to the beginning of it, it's the fundamental belief of what we are and what we do here. We're helping, what was it, the decentralization of power. People, me and Mitch are in a Bitcoin group together with a bunch of other gentlemen, we had a conversation the other night about the decentralization and what Bitcoin means. But
Scott,
then
we've got a live question right now while we're on here. How
absolutely,
many panels typically make up a 7.5 kilowatt array?
I'm thinking 10 to 12. Typically we don't measure in panels, like how many panels are installed. It is based off power consumption and like roof location. So depending on what type of house you have, if you have a brand new house, different types of panels may need to be used that are different size because say the different peaks and valleys within the house itself. There's more shade points on the newer homes, where if you're in Edmonton and you're in a traditional home that's in the core of the city, you're in a bungalow that was probably built in the 1960s, and you know, provided that that bungalow has a south facing slope of the roof, that's ideal. So you're probably going to have the least amount of panels on a roof like that. But a roof that has multiple peaks and different things, it varies, and it varies on the size, because of course the flat bungalow style, we can use full length panels and stack them next to each other, where again the peaks and valleys, we may have to put a cluster of 4 or 5 over here, and maybe we need to put, you know, 4 long ones and a short one because the valley and the roof is kind of coming together. And if we put the long panel there, well, it's going to be living in the shade for most of the time, so it's not going to be efficient. So it depends.
And your partner from Legacy just answered.
Yeah, good. The electrician.
Yep.
What did he say?
About 12 to 15.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reply back. So we got a conversation actually going in the chat here right now.
Yeah.
So for our guest that asked, thank you so much for asking it. Jason Cordopat is actually one of the partners in Legacy. He's going to be talking later on today in season 2 of Syndicate Talks as well. But yes, go ahead and keep the chat going right there in the top chat. Don't hesitate to ask, and we'll keep putting those out there. He was saying they would definitely need a ground array. So Jason, if you're still watching, of course, please sit there and keep an eye on the chat too. And we're happy to help to the best of our ability there. And what a great way. Thank you for bringing the question. And I mean, Jason, thank you for watching with Scott, your partner here, and being able to chip in and certainly comment about it. What a great way to have a live event, right?
Yeah,
what a great way to do this. That's fantastic. I love it. So thank you so much for participating and certainly adding more elements to our conversation today. So Scott, what is this like in 5 years? What are you working towards? And I mean, what comes next? So right now it's about solar primarily, right? But what comes next for it? I mean, people can make some money, they can sign up, they can start a side hustle, do a business, etc. They can get involved with solar. They can just do it for themselves because it's good. They can get involved with the business. Where is this going to?
Well, I hope, like, you know, as far as the central region goes, that we're growing, you know, substantially here, and then we get a good foothold. You know, this is home. Home's the place that I'd like to help first, of course. You know, there's so much in the city that is near and dear to me. The people, my friends, my family, all the things, you know. So I'm really hoping that we're strong here, and we're helping everybody who's in the central area, you know, have you know, some sort of renewable energy with their home. As far as EcoLeaf goes, you know, we want growth. You know, we're looking at expansion already. It's happening fast, and it's happening furious, and it's super exciting to kind of see where it's going. We have plans in next year to be launching in the US. We also have plans to hopefully by the end of the year be launching into Latin America and the Asian markets, more specifically, you know, probably the Philippines or Thailand. And you know, we want to help people worldwide. You know, this isn't something that's just a local issue for us. We also, I think, very shortly we'll be expanding into Lower Mainland BC, Saskatchewan. We are already operating in southern Alberta, Calgary, Okotoks, Canmore, you know, those types of areas. So it's actually super encouraging.
I just got confirmation. It's our dear friend. It's my dear friend Gary, who obviously is a member of our community at Syndicate. So Gary, thanks for coming on and definitely dropping in the chat there. We got a 3-way conversation going in the chat right now. I absolutely love that. So Gary, thanks for bringing the question, as always. Scotty, what's next for you in this business? What do you want out of this? What are you really working towards here? Because we heard getting paid and money. We've heard something with the environment. So there has to be more to it, because solar is probably going to be a pretty good way to get paid, but that can't be it.
it kind of like to some degree it is like I'm big. I grew up in it. I worked for the, I'm not even going to say their name. I worked for the power company for the city that we live in
Yeah.
for a long time, and I watched what they were doing. I seen some inefficiencies, and one thing that I have a goal for, personally, I want to be involved in the construction of large industrial solar arrays.
Mm.
I feel that, you know, us being Alberta and us being one of the sunniest places in the world, it's just foolish not for us to take advantage of this, especially with the mentality of our energy sector.
Mhm.
I've spent years in camps up north mining energy. I don't really like working there anymore. I understand that it's our province's lifeblood and it's helps my friends and family, you know, feed themselves, which I'll never, you know, discount ever for them. But for me, I look at transition and like I said, being a steward of change. I believe that we can build solar arrays in Alberta and offset the employment factor, offset the energy factor. We could really put a lot of people to work in Alberta if we would just change our mind for a second. And it's coming from an oil guy. You know, I worked up there for a long time and I did put food on my table for my family there. So like I said, I'll never discount it. I do believe we can transition. I do believe that there's enough work in these facilities that we could put a lot of people to work building them. We're on the verge of another boom, and nobody sees it in front of them, and then that's discouraging. Now, me personally, I'm really hoping that I can get involved in EV racing in the future.
Mhm.
I really like cars. I've been a big car fan for a long time. I got a need for speed, and it's different. It's different. It's like Mario Kart in real life. You know, I never knew anything about it. I've always liked IndyCar. And when we started doing this, I got to find ways for myself to get interested in stuff. And then I wanted to see, you know, what EV cars were. And then I found EV cars, and then I found, you know, of course, the Indy style cars, and I started watching it, and I started, you know, looking into what it is, and it's a very interesting sport. It works like Mario Kart. If you pass somebody on the outside corner, you can hit a speed boost, and all of a sudden your car blows by everybody at an astronomical speed, and it's all because you hit the right part of the track, or the fans are involved in it highly and they have an app, and as races are going on you can vote for your favorite drivers, and you know, different interaction points with that, and as the, like,
So we went
say
down a whole rabbit hole, but that's like medieval feast. But now you can actually interact with the you
with the
interact with
driver.
the race drivers instead
Yeah.
of just screaming for which colored knight you want to win, whether it's blue or gold
Oh yeah.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
and it's so cool. So they'll pass, like, say, the fifth lap, and whoever got the most votes on the fourth lap for the fifth lap gets a speed boost, and you'll see this car just gone, and you're like, "Oh, that thing can move fast." It's an interesting thing. So personally, I'd like to be involved in that.
Yeah. And Gary just came back in. So Jason, I know you're in the chat. We got Scott here right now. We can think about that as well. With solar, can we generate, you know, we can definitely generate the energy. How do we store it for the dark? How do we make sure that we've got that amount of storage there? But I know Jason's in the chat, so we'll let him answer that unless Scott, you really want to tackle it.
Yeah,
Because I wanted to ask something really burning. We want to race cars, you want to make money. There's more to life than that. How do you give back? Yeah, I'm
oh,
leading that question simply because
yeah.
I know
Where
what
you're
you're
going with
doing with
this?
EcoLeaf.
Yeah.
And right now we're like, I built this thing. Everybody can get paid. I'm gonna make a giant pile of money. I'm gonna
Well,
race EV cars. That's badass. But you know, there's the other equation to life too. And if I don't ask you, so you could say it out loud, you just look like a dick, right? You're
yeah,
like, I'm only in
absolutely.
this for the money. I know you're not in it for the money,
No.
brother. So I'm tossing you the softball question. How else do we get back?
Yeah, I'm excited about just transition, but this also helps it. So Equally started out, and instantaneously I decided to attach it to charity.
Mm.
Of course, you know, where we live, we're very fortunate, and as we put solar into our homes, our communities, our businesses, it's going to grow. So I've taken actually a pretty ample portion of every sale, and I've dedicated it towards the Equally Foundation. The Equally Foundation, it's actually evolved since I came up with it, because me personally, I'm a very big, I love diving, love scuba
Mm-hmm.
diving. um I've witnessed coral reef, you know, disintegrate in countries that I like visiting over the last decade. You know, maybe not in the last 2 years, I haven't gone really anywhere, but up until that point, you go and you see a reef, and then you go back later a couple of years, and it's not the same color it used to be, and it's all white, and it's not good. So in my mind, I was like, I want to help save the planet, and I know that corals are a very big part of that, and that was kind of my initial idea was, we'll buy pristine land with EcoLeaf, and then we'll save it because we'll just make it so nobody can mess with it, right? Then it evolved in some other factors that I actually am quite proud of this idea within our two groups that we have. We currently are looking at a model of raising money for remote locations, people that have a really big issue with supply chain, because the supply chain really thing just kind of came up while we were building EcoLeaf. And we have a partner with Legacy called Cold Acre, and I'm not going to talk tons about it, but Cold Acre essentially builds sea cans that do vertical growing within them, and we were looking for a reason to do business with them because we really like their products. They're really good products. And then we started to think, well, some of these remote communities that we're dealing with, because like you said, it's not just about the city. There are northern locations that we're dealing with, and they don't have the best accessibility. Currently at the moment, I'm building the GoFundMe because it's not done yet, but we're looking to raise money for northern communities to be able to supply them with these growing units for their communities. I know people have gone to the grocery store lately, and even in my community, which is in the middle of the middle of the city, there's shortages of produce right now. So each sale that's made with EcoLeaf, a percentage of it goes towards the EcoLeaf Foundation. That money is used to help remote communities, get solar, help remote communities use other renewable energies. We want to help northern communities be able to produce, food for themselves. What happens if this produce truck can't make it to your community, and now your community is without vegetables or fruit for the next X amount of time? How do people get their vitamins? And then all of a sudden people's quality of life starts to decrease because of, factors that are out of our control. The only way that I can really help that is by doing something myself, and I seen this as we were in conversations with Cold Acre, talking to them going, oh man, the three groups are looking to do something good together. And this is a way that we can do something good together that helps people. And of course, EcoLeaf will do more than that with the charity. There's a lot of stuff. There's research and development side too, where we don't want to just be putting the panel on the people's roofs. We want to be developing better panels that are more, energy consuming. I think right now the best panel on the market probably takes about 27% of the light that's like shone upon it. And it's increasing. The technology is getting better. What if that had an injection of a financial injection into it that would allow, whatever group to hire more scientists, to hire more people that will be able to make better products for us to install later on down the road. It's really big for me too. Also, even here, after having conversations about, coral reefs in foreign nations and stuff like that with one of my really close friends, I found out that we could be doing that here with certain chunks of land. Apparently there's pieces of parks that are being sold off in our province. We could reclaim those. We could, keep those safe, make them keep them pristine, and we would be able to still enjoy our wilderness in Alberta by doing that. So there's a lot of factors to it, and we're always open, of course, to any charitable idea that involves the environment and helping people. I feel that this is going to be a big thing all in itself, where it's becoming international now too, and that's huge. We're going to be looking at saving coral reef. We're going to be looking at saving the woodlands in northern Alberta. We're going to be looking at bringing fresh produce to northern communities that not only are going to be able to supply their community with food, but potentially it'll employ some people in those communities that jobs are hard to come by as well. And yeah, like, I thank you for bringing it up, because I don't want to sound like a big jerk about it, because the principle behind most of this is actually charitable. Um, and you know, helping save the planet. You know, there's going to be industry that opens up because of change, and either you're going to be stubborn and sit there and fight it, and you're going to be behind the curve when it happens, and then you're going to be constantly fighting to get ahead, or you can be ahead of the curve and be the steward of change and you know, work with the system while it moves forward. And I think, you know, for us, that's huge, you know, being able to be there. You know, like my partner Jason in chat, he's involved in so many different groups in Alberta
Yep.
with you know, what renewable energy is. And you know, I'm proud that his opinions get to be brought into those meetings because I know he cares. I know he cares about the environment. I know he cares about people's homes. I know he cares about people's families. I know he cares about northern communities. I know he cares about, you know, you name it, and that passion is there, and it's so easy to work with somebody who cares so much, you know. And you know, I'll just throw a shout out to Jay and Mitch because they're both living there.
I love you too, my brother. So listen, let's wrap up with some final thoughts. What do people need to know about getting involved with EcoLeaf, looking at bringing energy to themselves and for their homes, and to be able to support the charity as it continues to grow? Where do they find you? How do they get a hold of you? What steps do they have to take next? And of course, I'm assuming they can just reach out to you, right?
Yeah. Well, there's the email address, info@ecoleaf.energy. There's my phone number, 587-340-5939. Hopefully I don't get spammed to death now. There's, of course, you can find me within my business group, Cyndicate, which I'll always encourage as well, because they're giving me the opportunity to talk about this right now. Those are the best ways to get a hold of. Oh wait, there's a brand new 1-800 number, 1-833 number I just got passed. It's 1-833-326-5323, and that's how quickly things are moving because we didn't have this yesterday. And
That makes it easy.
yeah, and how to work with us. Honestly, in the beginning, we looked at lots of other MLM models, and it's not as transparent as we would like. So we have no barrier to entry with EcoLeaf. Now, of course, there's a monthly fee because we have to pay for software, because of course, you know, nothing's free in life, and the groups that we work with, we have to, you know, pay them for their products as well. So there's an administrative fee monthly that comes with EcoLeaf, but there's no barrier to entry. So you can join, pay your monthly dues, be part of the green movement, you know, and hopefully be able to find a way to put a little bit of extra money in your pocket for you, your kids' stuff, and all the things. And you know, that's really the easiest way to go about it. It's simple, it's easy. We're transparent. Everything we do is transparent. We don't work off a point system. We work off of the cash money system, because cash money is what everybody seems to understand, you know, plain as day. Yep. And that's the one thing I'd like to really portray about EcoLeaf is, yes, there's the stigma of it being an MLM, but it doesn't carry the funny business that lots of our other companies in our industry would, you know, carry potentially. And there's always that transparency for us. I also encourage people to go check out our website. It's www.ecoleaf.energy. And it's full of, our whole FAQ section is full of questions that people have already asked us. If you need to get a hold of us, of course, you can get a hold of us there as well. Yeah, barrier to entry is super low, and it gives people that opportunity that I think that people within our industry, you know, never would get. You know, just quickly, one thing that I noticed when we started here, I was looking at other competitors in our group, and I was trying to price out what we had versus what they had. And they had these calculators on their web pages that already had the grants and calculated into it. And I didn't realize that. Well, then we were coming up high for everything that I was looking at, but only slightly high. Then I realized we hadn't applied the grants to our pricing yet. And I think that in the moment in the market, our pricing beats any other solar company out there. Any other renewable energy company out there at the moment. I think we're beating them after all the grants and bursaries, and of course the commission you get paid off of putting that into your home. I don't think we can be beat. And that's the goal, is to make it accessible for everybody to be able to put on their home and not give them hurdles and barriers and hoops to jump through, and making it simple and making it accessible for everybody.
Fantastic. So they can get involved with the business, they can get the energy for themselves, and they can feel good about giving back to the environment itself, where we're moving into, as you said, what is going to be the next energy boom, which can fall out of the sky. That is staggeringly important to remember. Is that it comes for free out of the sky. That's wow. It is incredible to think of.
It's our evolution as humans, really. We should be harnessing the things that just happen.
Scott, Syndicate Talks, Season 4, Episode 1, in the can, in the bag. That's yours. That's EcoLeaf. Hey, Syndicate family, you got to watch the episode. You got to get involved. You got to watch the previous 3 seasons that happened as well. For our live audience that here's now, or wherever else might see us in the future, this is Season 4. We have 3 previous seasons. We have hours and hours. In fact, there are more hours in our 3 previous seasons than hours in the day. You want something to binge an hour at a time, make you smarter, learn something, and to listen to some really cool people talk about things that they're passionate about, love, and it will make you better at business overall. Check out our other seasons. Scott, thank you so much to EcoLeaf and the EcoLeaf family. Thank you so much for doing it. For our live audience and the conversation in the chat we've had today. While we get commentary on a regular basis, we don't get a chat like this that happened. There wasn't a lot, but you know what? Filled a whole screen, and that's kind of cool to watch too. Hey, this is a Syndicate Talks, Season 4, Episode 1. I am Mitch Kamich. I'm a broker of certainty. Syndicate is tribe. It is a business community, and it is here to make you better, smarter, faster, and of course, make business just a little easier to get by. We hope we've been able to do that for you today. Check out our next episode coming up very soon, Episode 2. And in fact, the same day we're recording this, we're recording that one, and we're recording 2 more episodes after that. So the first 4 out of 8 episodes are all getting recorded same day. Watch for it. It'll be going live too. That'll be coming forward soon. Scott, thanks for joining us. And for everybody out